Yeah. It is what it is. In case you don't know, now you know. All right, let's do this. You're welcome. Come on, let's go. Oh my goodness. Drop it now. Let's go. You're welcome once again. This is the Dawn in the building. Every Friday like this. You know how we do it. I tell you, it's getting cold in here. Right away from Maryland to the precise, I tell you, it's getting cold. Yeah, midnight, yeah, the falls, I'm sorry, the fall is around now. Getting chilly. All right. Yeah. If you're joining us for the first time, let me tell you what to do. Please subscribe to the channel. This is Intercontinental Sport TV. No doubt about it. The Don is in the building. Okwe Adebari standing by. I tell you, he's ready. Okwe is ready. Lady Vi in the building. Give me that smile. Let's go. Robbie Fowler. Yes, in the building. Brother from another mother. Yes, we're all set. Let's get into this trade. I'm telling you, there are some underperforming managers in the EPL. We're going to talk about them. Steven Gerrard. Oh my goodness. Lampard. What's going on? West Ham coach. I'm talking about David Moyes. Also, Brendan Rodgers. What's going on? We're going to know. The Don is here with all my fantastic crew. Maguire again. I don't know what's going on, but I know what is going on. It's all about Manchester United. Also, international break. We're going to talk about it. Yes, I'm settling down right now. Yes. All right. Now, let me bring first of all. Okay. Talk to me, bro. What's going on?
Yo, the Don.
Yeah.
Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I'm happy to be here on the show with my fresh new trim. I'm ready for the weekend, ready to paint the town red on this fantastic Friday evening. It's weird, not knowing that Premier League football is going to be absent this weekend and club football in general. But I'm ready to enjoy international football.
Yes, international moment. No Premiership game. All about international. Please smash a like on the video. Before bringing in Lady Bar, please smash a like on the video. He's ready, smiling, kicking, and he's saying he's ready to go. Let me ask for him. What's the secret of your smile, Lady Bar? Talk to me. You're welcome.
The VAR in the building. It's so good to be here once again. And I'm particularly happy because some people are going to collect what to do. Some managers are going to collect. Yeah.
In the building. We get our CV in the building. Oh, goodness me. Now, Robbie, if I bring Robbie in, please let me tell the viewers, smash the like on the video. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? Please subscribe to the channel. Robbie, talk to me. Man, me, Elon Shele, what's going on? Talk to me, bro.
I'm too back. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you live and direct. You're on this program right now. Yeah, you're live. Yeah, you're live.
Okay. Well, I think it's good to be here once again. Good evening, everybody. I'm happy to be.
Yeah.
On the performing managers because the English Premier League is one of those leagues that are very unforgiving And practically, if you're not doing your job, you practically be getting the sticks for not doing your job. Let's say on that note, let's get started.
All right, on that note, we're going to get started right now. No doubt about it. All right, let's do this. I'm going to start with you, Okwe. Straight up, what's going on international? Tell us something. Good to see you, man. How you guys going?
Yeah, very well, very well. Good to see everyone. Shout out to
All
Robbie and Lady VAR. International football, it's been interesting so far, if we're being honest. But then we've seen the bad side already of international football. One club in particular has been suffering from international football, which is Barcelona. Last night, they had Jules Koundé pull out of the French game less than 30 minutes into the match. And then even in Poland's game as well, Robert Lewandowski had to be taken off. Earlier today, Ronald Araujo also pulled with a tight hamstring for Uruguay. Same thing with Memphis Depay, another hamstring injury. So, one team in particular just took all the blows in international break, and that is Barcelona. But hopefully those players will be back before the end of international duty. But let's not forget that, it's good preparation for the World Cup. However, we're about to close out the second edition of, or the third edition, if I'm not mistaken, the third edition of the Nations League. Certain big boys are trying to save their prestige. I'm talking about England, I'm talking about France, I'm talking about Italy. They don't want to get relegated to the second tier of the Nations League, and they will try and win their last two games so that they will at least qualify to the next round.
Yes. Straight up, Lady Va, what's going on here? Is anything you want to say about this international? Because so many injuries accumulating, coming up from all these players. What's your take on this international break? Do you really like it? What's your take on this international break?
Okay, the international break, it's actually two sides to it, the good and the bad side, So the good side being that the team, there are no matches, no games, no travels, so enough time for the coach to come up with instructions and more tactics for the players. And then the backside, just like I said, the injury, players returning back to their teams with injury, which can be actually devastating for the club. And then we see that the big boys are actually impressing, talking about Belgium, France, and today we have two interesting fixtures, England, Italy, and another tough game. So we are actually looking forward to see what's going to happen.
All right. Okay. Still on internationals. Just something I want to ask about this international. Let's focus now on Africa. We have 5 countries going to the World Cup, and Nigeria, I think they're going to do a replay. We have to be in that World Cup anyhow. I'm just joking. I'm just joking, viewers. I'm just joking.
They need to go and mark register, Abby. They need to go and mark register.
No, because as you were saying it, at first I was so something in my mind said, "Are you going to the World Cup? Did they say something?" I was no longer an analyst. I became
oh my goodness.
So
all right, I just want to ask about this.
The worst part about this, Nigeria, the Super Eagles, we have one of the best looking kids, one of the best looking newly released kids. Sadly, we're not going to grace that tournament with our beautiful.
As in, very annoying.
So sad.
Yeah, let's talk about this. African football, for example. Nigeria is not going, and we have 5 countries going all the way from Africa. What's your position in this? Do you think African as well can do something in this winter World Cup? What's your take on this, Ope?
Definitely, I believe we can do something good at this World Cup. If you're taking a look at the kind of teams that qualify for the World Cup, it's very hard for me not to first of all start with Ghana, and I'm excited about Ghana because they've got new players who have been added to the squad. First of all, notable mention has to be Tariq Lamptey. He's a product of the Chelsea Academy, currently a Brighton player. So that's someone who would add a bit of flavor for them going forward, as well as defensively as well. It gives the manager options in terms of wants to set up the team against certain opposition. However, Ghana's group looks very, very difficult. It looks extremely difficult, and there are questions if they can pull through the group. But the truth is that they've got the quality. I believe Ghana has the quality to pull through their group. And obviously, with the addition of someone like Inaki Williams, he is someone who has been a prolific striker in Spain and for Athletic Bilbao over the years. He's great top shape, and I think he's a suitable replacement for their long-term prolific striker in Asamoah Gyan. Who, by the way, Asamoah Gyan still wants to play this World Cup, even though he has not been playing competitive football for a while. But and then again, we also have the usual suspects in the new brothers, and also Thomas Partey of Arsenal. Hopefully, Thomas Partey is fit because he's a huge player for them. And then the likes of Mubarak, so and they've got other great players around it. So hopefully Ghana can do something fantastic. And then we've got Algeria, we've got Morocco. Look, these North African countries always know how to bring up a surprise, and they've got quality, they've got good quality in their teams. So I'm hoping that they are able to go to tournaments with their best players. For Algeria, I can talk about the likes of Sofiane Feghouli, Riyad Mahrez, and then for Morocco, obviously Hakim Ziyech, Achraf Hakimi, and they've got other good players who make the team well-rounded. Yeah, so look, Africa can do a lot. That's just the truth. And we just that the African countries go with their best teams and they have luck on their side. I believe you need a bit of luck. You can do all you need to do on the pitch and pre-tournament, but you need a bit of luck. Also, one added advantage to Africa is the fact that the World Cup will be played in Qatar should I say, I'm trying to find the right word to coin. Not a hostile environment, but the weather is going to be to the advantage of the Africans. It's going to be a bit humid, even though we're playing in December. It's going to be a bit humid. So physically, it's to the advantage of African players. So hopefully they can take advantage of that.
I hope so. This time around, at least Africa should do something. I mean, the countries that be representing Africa must actually do something this World Cup. Now, Robbie, can I hear you really well? Hey, Robbie.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Your background is kind of noisy, but I just want to throw these questions to you about this international break. How do you see it from your own perspective? Is it the right time to be playing internationals at this few minutes of what's your take on this?
I think at this point in time for the international break, I think it's a wonderful time to go for this break for some teams that are struggling right now, especially talking about Leicester City, Nottingham Forest, and of course a couple of other teams that are still trying to find their feet into the new season. So I think right now the international break is something that is a welcome development or a welcome break for these teams because you really don't want to go at this rate or the speed you're going to. That is during this particular season. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're a little
Hello,
bit.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're a little bit breaking. Let me say this. For our viewers, if you want to join us, I've dropped the link on the chat. You can link us up if you have to have your say, or you drop your comment. Conley Faiga has been commenting, says Ghana have been strengthened by the addition of Lamte and Inoki Williams. That's my brother. They should have a good tournament like in 2010 when they had Kevin Prince de Boateng, and all the way to the last 8. Well, we're still going to come there, no doubt about it. When the time comes about between this World Cup, we're going to have a lot of content regarding this World Cup. Let's go straight to the next topic without wasting much of our time, and it's all about these 5 managers: Steven Gerrard, Copa, and Rogers, Lampard, and the other man that came to Manchester United when Ferguson left. I'm talking about Moyes. I'm going to start with you, Okwe. These are the 5 underperforming managers for us this season so far. We still believe they can still turn things around. I don't know. What's your take on these 5 managers? What are they getting wrong? What are they not doing? And considering the fact that they signed some players, or is it players that or lack of signings or something? Why are they having this issue? Most especially Moyes at the moment.
It's quite ironic that you mentioned Moyes first, because I was going to start from him as well. I think among those 5 managers mentioned, I think he's the least that should be worried about his job, because he's done a great job at West Ham so far. And 2 seasons in a row now, they've been playing European football, which they had not done in about 80 years, if I'm not mistaken. So David Moyes brought stability back to West Ham in terms of being one of the top clubs in England, in the English Premier League, and also took them back to Europe. So one of the major reasons for their inconsistency has to be injuries. Even towards the end of last season, they had key players who were out injured. And I believe that they have not made adequate replacements for some of the players who have left. Talking about defense, they've had injury worries to the likes of Craig Dawson, who has been an integral player for them. A left back, they sold from Masuaku, but I believe they haven't really signed a good left back that can provide competition for Aaron Cresswell. And mind you, Cresswell is already 34 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So he's losing legs. I believe they need to bring someone in who can provide good competition. They let Issa Diop go to Fulham. I'm surprised about that. But then they signed a quality player in Thilo Kehrer. However, it's been difficult for Kehrer trying to settle into the Premier League and West Ham team. His first 2 games, he found it difficult. He was the culprit for goals that they conceded in his first 2 games. And in fact, on his debut, conceded a penalty. Next game, he scored an own goal. So it's been difficult for the era. So I believe if West Ham have their top players fit at the same time, it will be really good. Fabianski as well has suffered a bit. Alphonse Areola has been inconsistent. And Gianluca Scamacca, the club record signing from Sassuolo, the Italian striker, he's found it difficult to hit the ground running in the Premier League. However, he has been comfortable playing Conference League football. So I believe West Ham just need to get more players fit. They need to get Gerard Bowen back in good form. Gerard Bowen has not been in good form since towards the end of last season. I don't know whether it's been fatigue, but it's been difficult for him to get back into good form. And I think Moyes needs to find a way to have both Mikel Antonio and Scamacca play together at the same time. If they're going to switch to a 3 at the back, that's up to him. But moving on to other teams, so the next likely manager who may not be sacked so soon, or who might not be under so much of pressure, to be frank, Lampard was beaten at a time when Everton were going down the drain, and I chose my words carefully because it seemed like they were going to be relegated. He was able to save them from relegation, and he has slowly been able to, with the last 2 transfer windows, he has tried to get rid of some players and then create his own team. It's been difficult for him as well. And then he has been suffering with injuries to key players such as Yeremina, Seamus Coleman, Ben Godfrey as well. And up top, to be more precise, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has been a great striker for them for years. And I was surprised that Lampard let Richarlison go. So I guess Richarlison wanted a step up in his career, hence him going to Spurs. And obviously, they have not replaced Richarlison. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is the only good out-and-out striker. And
they've not.
So he got the likes of Solomon Rondon and Tosun on the sidelines, who are not going to give the same goal input as Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison were doing over the years, because Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin had a partnership, even though sometimes they did not play as 2 strikers. Even if Richarlison was playing on the left wing, they had a good they had good camaraderie. And Andrew Townsend has been out good for a large number of games, so that's been a problem for them. And Lampard was even on the brink of losing Anthony Gordon to Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea was reported to be ready to splash 80 million on the young boy. So if Lampard is able to keep his players fit, if he's able to keep the team going the way they are right now, I believe they will be fine. And then you will see the revitalization of Alex Iwobi in a central midfield position under Lampard. So they seem to have a system working for them. They just need consistency and they need a bit of luck, right? So I'll then be going to the managers who I think might just get the sack eventually. First of all, has to be Steven Gerrard. I believe Steven
Wow.
Gerrard has been
Steven Gerrard? Really?
honestly, yeah, I believe he has been underperforming with Aston Villa because since he got to Aston Villa, they've been fully behind him, supporting him, signing the type of players he wants. But Gerrard is someone who seems to be just a bit like a young Mourinho. I say a young Mourinho because when Mourinho was younger, Mourinho always stuck to a certain playing style, and Mourinho did not really like to tinker with his team and with the setup of his team because he was so confident in his abilities as a coach and with his team delivering all the time. But Mourinho had to learn the hard way while during his stint at Chelsea, he needed to learn that sometimes players don't adapt to a particular system. Players need a bit of switching up. Sometimes you need to switch things up a bit to get the players flowing in a different kind of way. And I think that's what Gerrard needs to do. The 4-3-2 formation they've been playing it doesn't really work for every team that they play against because one major thing is that Oli Watkins and Danny Ings cannot play together at the same time. And they are both strikers who are goals, but then they offer different things at the same time. Oli Watkins is the complete rounded forward who can also provide assist, who will always fight for every ball. But then you've got Danny Ings as a goal poacher who will find a goal anywhere and anyhow. The few games that Danny Ings has started, he has scored in all his starts. And then previously after that, he's been cut off of the bench. So I believe Gerrard needs to re-strategize his team and know who is going to be his main playmaker. Is it going to be Jacob Ramsey? Is it going to be Felipe Coutinho? Is it going to be Ben Bia? Because these three midfielders have been rotated in an attacking position, and it really hasn't always proven to be profitable. Coutinho is struggling for form. Ben Bia is struggling for form. And then Ramsey needs to play with other experienced midfielders. I believe he needs to be more consistent with Douglas Luiz, although he is impressed with Boubacar Kamara, but Douglas Luiz offers more compared to Kamara going forward. So if Jad does not change his setup and change tactics, I believe he might get the sack sooner than later, except Aston Villa want to stick with him. But it doesn't make sense to stick with a manager who is going to let you play with relegation. And then going to the manager who I'm so sure will get sacked before the end of this season has to be Brendan Rodgers. But I think a lot is going on at Leicester City that we need to know the public, because why is Leicester City signing good players and they're not bringing in quality players who can match the standard of talent that has left the club? Kasper Schmeichel has left the club, and then I'm surprised that Brendan Rodgers promoted Danny Ward. Danny Ward has been a long-time backup to the Premier League for different teams. And then he promoted Danny Ward, gave him the number 1 jersey, and this guy just drinking in goal. He's a basket. Danny Ward is an absolute basket. And that's the reason why Leicester have considered the most goals in the Premier League right now. So, look, Leicester needs to go and find a world-class goalkeeper so can actually replace Kasper Schmeichel. And then they've had injury worries as well, especially in defense. First of all, letting Fofana go. Yes, letting Fofana go was a business deal at the end of the day. They obviously didn't want to let him go. And then the replacement that signed from France, without due respect to him, he's not up to the grade of Wesley Fofana, and his name has skipped my mind currently, And then Wilfred Ndidi now is injured. Jamie Vardy right now is 36 years old. Them extending his contract, I don't know. I believe Brendan Rodgers needs to start playing Patson Daka and Kelechi Iheanacho more often. He needs to play them more often. And he needs to reorientate Yuri Tielemans. Tielemans wanted to go to Arsenal. And at the start of the season, Tielemans didn't look like he wanted to be part of this Leicester squad. The transfer window has been closed. He's a Leicester City player. He needs to get back into good form, right? So that's what Brendan Rodgers needs to do. And Leicester City needs to sign Brendan Rodgers quality players come this January transfer window. I started off this statement with Leicester saying we don't really know what is going on internally because they've been letting good players go and they don't seem to be recruiting in a way that we expect Leicester City to be going. So maybe they do have financial issues. Only time will tell. And time will let us know if they do not sack Brendan Rodgers. Then we will know that, okay, the club is going through a crisis and they are deciding to stick by their manager. However, Brendan Rodgers' record is not really good when it comes to big teams. He doesn't know how to get the job done and win trophies. That's just the truth. It happened at Liverpool. You could say it was lucky at Liverpool, but post Coutinho, he didn't do so well with the money that was given to him, in my own opinion.
All right. All right. Lady Va, there's this I want to actually ask you. Among all these coaches, is there anyone you want to talk about? I mean, talking about the underperforming managers. Over to you, Lady Va.
Okay, I will start with Brendan Rodgers. I won't really give him much of the blame personally. I think much of the blame has to go to the club because I think they're actually going through financial issues because they've lost key players. You let your key players go and you're not getting in a perfect replacement. Schmeichel was like very vital to the team. No disrespect to this their new keeper, but he's just average considering so yes, considering so much goals. Yeah. So even the recent goalkeeping statistics for goals, keepers, and no expectancy, I think he was the last because all the games he considered 5-2, 6-2.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So for the board letting such key players go, and then for Fana, and you're not making any perfect replacement for them. So what do you expect? And that's why I think they are not in a hurry to sack Brendan Rodgers because they are not giving him the tools, like the right kind of players to work with. Let's not forget that he used this same squad to get the FA Cup and the Community Shield. So working with the same kind of players over and over again, no perfect signing, and you're letting your key players go, I think that's actually the major problem. And then the players also, I think I'll have to give them some blame as well, especially the defenders, you know. Just like Okwe said, Ward, that guy, the guy is actually a real basket. And then Ndidi has not been informed recently. The game against Tottenham, we saw how he let the third goal slip past him. And this is not the first time he's doing that. So I think much of the defense and then the defensive midfield, I think that's where the part of the problem is. Because the forward, they're actually scoring goals. So you won't say they are not scoring, not like teams like Wolves where you don't get to see goals. They're actually scoring goals. Yeah. So I think the problem is actually the defenders conceding more. It's not just about the players losing, but how you lose matters a lot, you know. So and then Rodgers, I think I'm not actually going to blame him because he has tried different things so far this season.
Yeah.
We've seen him start badly, and when it was not working, I was complaining that why can't he start Iheanacho and Daka? And I think which game he did start them, and they scored, but they ended up conceding more goals. We've seen them being ahead of the game, maybe 2 goals up, and then they end up losing in the end. So so many problems with Leicester recently, but I'm not actually going to blame Rodgers for it. As a coach and a man manager, you're supposed to actually know what to do, how to manage the squad, knowing that this is the situation at hand. But then the team not actually making good signings, and the defenders, the keeper conceding so much goals than they're actually scoring is actually the problem. And another team I want to talk about is Steve Cooper, that's Nottingham. So I don't think the other managers, I don't think they will actually pull through. They will pull through because I think the problem with Nottingham is as a new team, they just got promoted into the league. And so many signings. They made 22 signings. That's like 2 squads or so.
That has to be world record.
I tell you. So I was even saying I'll take it personal. If they go back to relegation, personally I will be angry because you can't make such signings and you end up going to relegation. Yeah, but I think the problem is getting to know the bonding between I think the coach currently is trying so many formations. He's trying to get the right formation that is perfect. We've seen him try sometimes Awoniyi, Dennis. I think Dennis is yet to start. And what's this guy? So he's trying so many formations recently, and then there is this bond. The bond is not yet very strong among the players because they are new, so that bond is not there. And then I think confidence. They are trying to actually the confidence, and then when they are losing, getting back to the game is actually another problem, which I see is just because it's actually a new team and they have not really found the perfect formation and the perfect bond between the players. So I believe definitely they're going to pull through. Then Everton, that's Lampard. So just like Ope said, he actually inherited the club when they were in crisis. And the building stage is actually going to take a while. He's actually not doing that bad. They've won 2 games, I think, and 4 draws. So for me, that's actually not very bad. They just need to be more consistent. Same with Aston Villa. I think they actually need to be consistent. Let's not forget, Aston Villa actually played a draw with Man City, So for me, they've got the right set of players, and Steven Gerrard just needs to get the perfect formations for particular games, and they will actually pull through. And David Moyes, that's for West Ham.
Yeah,
I think the problem is just those key players not meeting up to the expectations. I think he said it in one of his interviews. They're not giving him what he actually expected. Bowen and Cresswell, these are players that they are actually having a very bad start this season. So with time, they should pick up with time, and these teams, I think they'll actually pull through. My only concern and fear, just like I mentioned, is actually Leicester. The other 4 teams, definitely, they should, once they get it right, they should actually do well in the middle of the season.
Yeah, a brief comment about Steve Cooper and Nottingham Forest. I think we just need to understand that, last season, they had a lot of financial constraints. About 5 years ago, they were very, very, very close to being getting into administration, and they've got a new owner who has turned down the finances of the club, so they're in a much better place financially. So last season, a good crop of their players, including Morgan White, who they later signed this summer, all of them were on loan. All of them were on loan from different clubs, from the Premier League and in the Championship as well. So that's a major reason why they've signed 3 players. But then again, we all know that football is not magic. These players need time to actually gel. And I think this is one team that will look forward to the break, the World Cup break. The World Cup break is about a month or more. And I think they will look forward to a mini preseason camp where Steve Cooper can actually determine he prefers starting 11 and use the right combination of players, because they've got players who can make a good impact in the team. They've got Jesse Lingard, they've got Awuni, they've got Emmanuel Dennis at the back. Yeah, they've got Cheick Kouyaté,
Johnson,
Brennan Johnson has been a consistent player for them as well. They've got Neco Williams, who they signed on loan from Liverpool, a good, very, very good acquisition, if you ask me. And then apart from Cheick Kouyaté as well, they've signed Serge Aurier, and then they got Renard Lodi on loan from Atletico Madrid. That was an absolutely that was a big steal. That was a big steal from Atletico Madrid. Never in a million years did I ever think that Atletico Madrid would let Renard Lodi go. But then they let him go to Nottingham Forest. This is a Brazil international. This is someone who has a short ticket space for the Brazilian squad in the Brazilian team. So hopefully, by the beginning of the second half of the season, Nottingham Forest is able to. However, hopefully they've not lost so many games that it is too late for them to actually survive relegation.
All right, 1 second. I want to also ask this question about this team. It's all about this great team that's really surprised me this season. The club I'm talking about. Um, you know the club I'm talking about. So that's where I
I
want
want you
to
to
go.
say the name. I want you to say the
No,
name
no,
of the
no,
club.
no. Hold on, I'm coming. Just hold on. I'm coming. Wait, hold on. I'm talking this team that's already, I mean, performing very well. You know, smashing. It's only one club that's, I mean, they've dealt with them. You know the club I'm talking about. They start with.
I know the club you are talking about.
So let's, yes, as a Manchester United fan, I want to ask, what is I still don't want to mention that name, but I will still. I'm talking about that particular club. What are they getting right? I mean, what are they doing right this season than other
Okay.
season that is putting them on top of the league right now? Temporarily, I mean,
Mm.
have to be, So, so talk to me, Okwe, before we wrap up. Is there anything they are getting right this season? Because most of their fans, I'm talking about Arsenal right now. What are they doing that is they are getting right? They're doing very well. That's making them tick. So talk to me, Okwe.
First of all, one of the reasons why they are getting, first of all, they are doing everything right. As far as I'm concerned, Arsenal is doing everything right. But one of the reasons why they are doing everything right is because there's been a process. And I must say that Mikel Arteta has to be one of the luckiest managers in the Premier League because the Premier League doesn't really have a good record in recent years of backing managers. For a long time, Arsenal fan like myself, like I always tell people, we were spoiled by Arsene Wenger. For 22 good years, Arsene Wenger was delivering Champions League football like it was beans. It was so easy. You expected to see Arsenal in Champions League season in, season out. You expected to see Arsenal manage a top finish. But you know what? Towards the end of his stay, he lost a bit of should I say lost a bit of control, or should I say his methods were outdated, and then Unai Emery coming in, not having good command of English, the language, and not having a good command of his dressing room, it was a problem. And then they turned to a young manager who would be taking the helms, being the number one man for the first time in his career. However,
Mm,
look, Ateta was someone who was born to be in this position. He has been working even while as a player. He has toed the line to be where he is today. And immediately he joined us now, he took the bull by the horns. He implemented his philosophy throughout the whole stadium. And this philosophy has spurred down to our academy because the type of players that were churning out right now from our academy, absolutely brilliant. So kudos to Arsenal and the management. Kudos to the Kronkes. They put their full support behind him, and they hired someone in Edu who would also assist him. Someone who they share the same ideas in terms of how they want the team to play, and then they go ahead and get good players who would actually make things happen. Another good thing that happened for us now, which a lot of people outside the club don't realize, is that look, when Arsenal got to the Emirates Stadium, they took out a huge loan, right? And that was a reason why, for a long time under Wenger, Arsenal was selling their key players. Now, 2 years ago, we
mm,
finally finished um, repaying the debt for Emirates Stadium, right? Then
yeah.
that was when the owners were now able to start splashing cash. That's why Arsenal were able to spend 45 million pounds on Alexander Zinchenko, and that's why they were able to spend 25 million pounds, 45 million pounds on Gabriel Jesus, and then 25 million pounds on Alexander Zinchenko in the same season. Mind you, Arsenal has not finished paying the price tag for Nicolas Pepe. It was a bad decision by the former guys in the recruitment team. Thankfully, that's Raul Sanheli and Coast. Thankfully, they're out of there. And thankfully, we have Edu who has come in, right? So Arsenal can actually now comfortably spend big money to bring in big name players. And I believe they are now on the right path to getting back to playing Champions League football. Apart from that, Arteta has been able to get rid of players who cannot adapt to his philosophy. He's been able to get rid of players who would not be up to standard. He's been able to
Mm,
do that successfully. And then for the first time ever, I can confidently tell you that Mikel Arteta has his own team. It is just that simple. Now, if you take a look at the players who have been added to the squad, my oh my, these players are mentality monsters. These are players, talking about Jesus and Zinchenko, they are used to win. They're accustomed to winning, and then they've come into this squad and then they've absolutely infected the whole team with this winning mentality. Granit Xhaka has now become, he has returned back to his normal self of being comfortable in an Arsenal jersey and leading the
yeah.
team even without a captain's armband. And then we've seen Martin Odegaard with his leadership on the field. We know he's not so much of a vocal person, but he does a lot of leadership with the ball. That's why he's one of our topmost creators, creating chances for the team. And then big ups to the young players in Arsenal's team who have been stepping up when needed. Talking about the likes of Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Emil Smith Rowe when he's fit, and obviously William Saliba. I mean, that's a top class defender. We saw him deputized for France once again in the Nations League. Fantastic signing. Lady Vieira is smiling because he's a great FPL addition to her team. Right. What Arsenal needs to do going forward is consistency. They need to be consistent and disciplined, and they need a bit of luck. I talk about luck because luck is needed. But in Premier League football, you do need luck, and Arsenal need to show that mentally they are up there with the big boys. The loss against United.
Yes, you lost against United. Yeah, you lost against United.
But they played better. They played better.
But
they played better. It was the luck that was not there.
No, the scoreline was 3-1. We won 3-1.
It was just the luck, but they played better.
If I'm being totally honest, if Arsenal had their fully fit squad, I believe it would have been a totally different scoreline. Thomas Partey was not available. Mo El Neni was not available. They had a young Lokonga who was put into that position. And then I would say Mikel Arteta himself also needs to continue to work on himself and improve and have a bit of better emotional man management for himself, because I believe he made, I won't call it a tactical decision. I believe he made a rash decision when he took off Zinchenko and decided to go 3 at the back. And then, they just made themselves really fragile. So he might have felt he was the right thing, trying to get a goal back in the game. Ended up leaving Arsenal wide open. And United, and the United took at the end of the day. One last thing about Arsenal: if they're going to win Premier League title, if they're going to secure Champions League football, they need to make more quality signings in January transfer window. Arsenal's squad is very thin. They've got good quality, but this quality is not enough to win the Premier League. They need to sign another forward, someone who can provide competition for both Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. One. Number two, they need to sign a suitable replacement or a suitable midfielder who can provide competition for Thomas Partey. They were very close to doing that before the end of this summer transfer window. They're chasing Douglas Luiz, 3 bids for Douglas Luiz, who has 1 year left on his contract and will be a free agent at the end of this season. Obviously, Gerrard didn't want to let him go. And it didn't make sense to me because Aston Villa signed Leandro Dendoncker from Wolverhampton Wanderers, someone who can play as a centre-back and as a defensive midfielder. I believe Aston Villa did not just want to make competition stronger. It was a great move by Aston Villa, not letting Douglas Luiz go. And apart from that, I think Arsenal also need to sign one more right back. So far, Ben White has been deputized in that position, and then we've had Tomiyasu on the bench. And Tomiyasu, whenever he plays, when he comes in, he's been a great addition. He's back in good form. However, I think between Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes is someone who loses composure a lot of times. He can be benched as far as I'm concerned. And Ben White is good with both feet. So we might just end up seeing a centre-back pairing of Ben White and Saliba later in the season. So Arsenal need another right-back who's going to provide good competition for Tomiyasu and Ben White. They need a midfielder who will provide good competition for Thomas Partey and can give the same effects to the team when Partey is not available. And then they need another forward, someone who can provide competition for Saka and Martinelli, as we've seen that Smith Rowe has injury worries.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to just say something.
Yeah, that's why.
So I'm not speaking for myself now because I have a contrary opinion. I'm just saying the minds of some bad belly fans, So most people think Arsenal, they're just like an elephant on top of the tree, So what we are seeing now is initial gra. So definitely they will drop, maybe towards the middle or end of the season, they are going to drop.
Oh my
so, God. Okay, I don't know. Do you believe that for your team? Because that's what most people are saying,
For me, do I believe that? Let me be really honest with you. I don't think Arsenal will win the Premier League this season. What I expect from Arsenal this season is a top 4 finish.
Top 4.
That's what I expect from Arsenal this season. If they finish anything above 4th place, I think that's really great. I think that's an achievement, I don't lie to you, because Arsenal is one of the most prestigious clubs in the history of football and the Premier League. They need to be playing Champions League football season in, season out. It's just that simple. Winning a trophy will be good. That would be an icing on the cake. Probably winning the Europa League, winning the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. That would be great. But the target has to be a top 4 finish and securing Champions League football.
All right, Lady Va, it's all about Maguire now. Maguire is going to play this evening. And I don't know why or why this coach, I'm talking about Southgate, taking him to bring him Maguire into this occasion. What's your take on Maguire in this team, in this English team? Maguire.
Harry Maguire. Okay. Well, I was actually not part of the people that felt he shouldn't have actually made the squad, but he did. For whatever reason, the coach felt was okay. And let's not forget, like, few people actually notice and say whenever he's on that England shirt, he performs, better. Like when he's playing for Manchester United. So I think we should giving him a chance. It's like, let's see, he has sat on the bench long enough, so let's see what he has to pull up today, so I'll actually be looking forward to that game. And I believe the coach, if he's not few minutes into the match, if he's not meeting up to expectations, he's got so many options. He can actually take him out and replace him. But nevertheless, I am expecting him to do better today, actually. So it's not a bad start for me.
Well, for me, I think Maguire is the Manchester United captain. There's no
He's going to shut all of you up today. Don't worry. All of you that have been bantering him, he's going to shut all of you up.
Oh my goodness! Right now, I think Brazil's facing Ghana at this moment.
Yes. Also, not really on the radar. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have been playing a test match against Algeria's second team.
For what?
Yes.
Do we need
it's just a test match. It's a test
it's
match
today, right?
Yes, it's today. The game started at 5:30 p.m. Nigerian time, but I don't know the scoreline currently. Hopefully they make it public. But then we're facing them officially next week Tuesday.
Official. We are playing Ghana next week.
No, I'm Algeria. We're playing
Algeria.
Yes, Algeria's Team B right now. The game started at 5:30, but then we are playing them officially next week Tuesday.
All right.
Yeah, and there was this thing that came and
halftime score 1-0. Algeria is currently beating Nigeria 1-0.
We know everything.
Mind you, this is not Algeria's first team. Coincidentally, Algeria's first team will be playing a friendly match later this evening. So that's even Algeria's Team B.
That's it.
So it's quite disgraceful if you ask me. Algeria will be playing Guinea in a couple of minutes by 8 o'clock. It's by 8 p.m. Nigerian time. So I don't know. This new coach, Jose Pesedo, he might not last long.
But then the head he came and left. He was in the camp and then he left.
What?
Yeah, I mean, according to reports, Ndidi pulled up with an injury. We don't discuss the nature of the injury. And then he went back to England. And then a topmost Nigerian journalist came out on his own personal platform to say that Ndidi left because Jose Pesedo wanted to play him as a centre back, and Ndidi wanted to play as a midfielder. Ndidi saw that post and responded to him.
And he debunked it.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic.
He debunked it.
So I'm sure the managers will let us know the true nature of Ndidi's injury.
All right, guys, we have to wrap up the show right now until next week. We say I think next weekend we should be back to the game, EPL game next weekend. I think Arsenal will be the first match, Arsenal versus Spurs. That would be a cracking game.
The North London derby, yeah.
That would be a cracking game. I'm quite scared right now. We're going to go live. We're going to go live. We are going to go live. Definitely, it's going to be a match of the week. We're going to go live for the watch along. No doubt about it. God's willing, It's going to be fantastic. Thank you guys once again. We'll be here same time next week. I want to say shout out to everybody that's helped us one way or the other. Please smash the like on the video, guys. Smash the like on the video, and also please, you can also join our membership. I already put it on the screen. You can join it, click the link. You can join us, be a member of this community, Intercontinental Sport TV. I'm going to sign you out on this note. Lady Va, thank you so much for coming. You're going to tell the viewers, because most of them are asking me, which club do you support? I said, I'm going to ask you. They want to know today.
I'm glad you asked that question. I'm curious. I want to know the club that she supports.
I'm a neutral fan.
Is there anything like that?
I'm a neutral fan. Or any club Harry Maguire supports. I'm a big fan of Harry Maguire. So any club he supports. Yes. And he's going to score today. Take note. He's going to shut all his critics up today. Yeah.
Amen.
Interesting.
You will not do like this. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Lady Va. Everybody. Okwaye, thank you so much.
My pleasure, doing.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Lady Va.
Right. Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, everybody. Your main man is here. I gotta go now. Thank you, everybody. We're about to go out of the studio once again. Looking forward to the game. Brazil versus Ghana anytime soon. Also, England will also be playing. Yeah, it is what it is. Please subscribe to the channel. Smash the like on the video. Friday. On this note, the Don is signing out. Bye for now.